gonna creep the whole video, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
All right. Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be covering this scissor sweep. This is one of my personal favorite sweeps to get somebody out of guard to where I can get into a top mount and control position there. So there's a lot of details in this. We're going to go through them kind of quick. Make sure that you're paying attention in class and definitely practice this one at home. So Mr. Xander's going to help me out here. He's going to be in my guard. So say we've fallen on the ground and he tried to come get me and all of a sudden I've got my legs wrapped around him here. This is what we call the guard. If you didn't know that, now you do. So I'm locking him in and trying to hold him in this position. I've got a couple of options. I can keep him down here and try to strike or try to choke or something, do an arm bar, something crazy like that. But if he's decided that he doesn't want to be here and he starts to back out, I've got some options. Now, a couple of things that I want to do here. I want to try to control him, keep him from pulling his arms down here. So the very first thing I want to do is grab the back of his tricep. This allows me some control of him. I've got a wrist and a tricep. You can also do this from a neck control position. There's a lot of ways to get to this. I'm going to go over just the one today. So I'm going to grab tricep and wrist. That keeps his arm from going forward. Now, as he's trying to stand up and back out, I'm going to give him a little bit of freedom here. I'm going to release my legs and drop them to the floor. He backs out a little bit, so now I'm going to shrimp out this way and turn onto my side. Now this leg is going to be laying straight down on the floor. You don't want it up here on the hip, otherwise you don't have control. So straight down here on the floor. This is going to drive up and across. So my opposite side knee is driving up and across his chest. Sometimes when we do this, we end up down here, and now we don't have a sweep. So we need to try to get that knee up at an angle across his chest, just like a seatbelt would be if it was across the chest there. So I'm grabbing here, I'm grabbing with my ankle here, I'm pulling my foot back on the other side. I'll do it the other direction so you can see it better later. But I'm pulling my foot back like I'm trying to put a shoe on and drive my heel in. Same thing with this side. I'm going to pull here and kick here. That's why it's called the scissor sweep, because my legs are going in opposite directions. As I do that, he flips, and I lead this leg across and control this hand so that I can pull myself up into that top mount position. Now I can do whatever I want to do. All right? Let me show you that from a different angle. Mr. Xander, let's do it from this side here.
Yes, sir.
All right, so here we are. I've trapped tricep, wrist. I'm letting him get away from me a little bit. I'm pulling to my side. Now, from here, the knee goes up and across the chest. The more you can get it up and across, the better it is here. If you go, the further down you go, the harder it is to sweep. Now, the other thing you want to think about is getting their weight to come back up over your hips. So I've let him go back a little bit. Now I'm going to pull him into me a little bit. If I leave him way back here, then when I kick, I don't have a lot of strength. So I'm pulling him in, and then I'm kicking with this foot and kicking with this in the other direction, and over he goes. Do not let go of this position. Maintain the leg going across. Keep hold of this arm. Push up and across. There's also some really cool stuff you can do from here. You can just flow right into arm bars, femurs, that sort of cool stuff. All right. One thing that you need to understand is that my feet are different than if I were doing a stand-up kicking battle. A lot of times my toes are going to be pointed. When I'm grappling, most of the time I'm going to be pulling my feet back so that I can hook things with them and use them as hooks. So when I turn over and I've got this foot on the outside, the toes are pulled back. Same thing on this side. I'm hooking this foot underneath his hip while this knee is going up across his chest. So make sure that you're not leaving your feet flat, otherwise they're just going to slip out from underneath you. So hook that foot and then kick and pull. When you do that, let your hips rotate over to follow them. All right, guys, there's your scissor sweep. Make sure you practice those motions at home, preferably with nobody on top of you at first so that you can practice getting your hips into those somewhat odd positions. Keep training, keep growing. We'll see you in the next one.